What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the In-Depth Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving because it is Thanksgiving weekend.
Woohoo.
Happy Thanksgiving, actually.
Get some food, you know?
Yeah, get fat.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing.
And then hit the gym right after that.
Yeah. That's
rhymes?
New
Get
Year's.
fat?
That's New Year's.
Hit the gym right after that.
Today's prompt, we're going to be talking about just like being thankful and having Thanksgiving. Not Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, there's a space
in life.
between
Yeah, there's
that.
a space in there.
Yeah.
And just in life and in situations, just I don't know, just in your life.
Yeah. No, this is going to be super exciting. This might be a quicker one, but we're super excited just to like talk about Thanksgiving. Just in all year round. Because I feel like a lot of times we look at Thanksgiving and then we get like really thankful in that like couple weeks or whatever leading up to it. And after that, like it's still there, but it's not as like in our mind.
It's like
prevalent.
rising. It's like a constant graph, and then it like hits and you kind of start descending.
Yeah. So like we just want to take some time to I guess just talk about being thankful throughout the year, kind of reflecting on different seasons that we can be in and how that affects our Thanksgiving to God, to others, and yeah. So I want to just jump right into it?
Yeah.
Sweet. So the whole idea, we should be thankful all year round. And I like that because a lot of times I feel like in my in my prayer time, I can feel discontented sometimes, and that can sometimes lead from an area of I haven't been thankful to God, or I haven't expressed my thanks to God for things and trials, and I just get overwhelmed with the way the seasons come, seasons go. So have you ever found like in your walk or anything like that, you've found seasons of like, hey, I feel like there's a lack of thanksgiving in my life. Mm-hmm. And then it correlates to like, oh, I haven't been thanking God this way, or I haven't been appreciative in this way. Like, have you ever found any of those kind? Because I feel like from the like the first thoughts I had with this, looking at this prompt is like I should be thankful all the time, and I feel more joy when I'm thankful all the time. But there's times where I'm just like I forget to be thankful. Have you ever like felt that?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You're kind of like, when you're saying that, I was just kind of thinking about, I was like, before, I've only like started like, it's getting to Thanksgiving season, so I'm actually like, I'm like more so thankful, but like I've only really started to try to be like more thankful in my time, in my devotions, and like even like the past week. Mm-hmm. And it was like before we even really talked about doing this, we were like, wait, we should just do this. And then so I was like starting to get up into it, and like I think it's important not to be like, oh, I haven't been thankful all my life, and be like, well, I'm a bad Christian, I'm a bad person for doing this. And I think it's like, for me, like I haven't really done it much my whole life. And it's kind of like, instead of like being like, and it's the same with like trials. Whenever you like struggle with something and you fail, and you're like, you can't be like, oh, I'm a bad person, I've struggled with this, God will never forgive me. You can't do that. You have to be like, you have to start anew and be like, all right, round 2. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of like how I'm going to try to look at this, is kind of be like this, like I'm just starting to get into the thankful. Like this is round 1. Like I'm going to just go for it, try to be thankful every day, try to just say stuff like in prayer, be like, this, God, thank you for this, and like actually try to make a point to it. So like, yeah, I have been like, I guess, but like at the same time, I'm not really, because I haven't really had times where I'm like, like, yes, I have had times where I'm like, man, I'm just not thankful for anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just haven't really been thankful for stuff a whole lot. Like, I haven't made a purpose to every day try to be like, I'm thankful for this, this, and this. It's kind of been like, something came up, oh, thank you for this, God, and then move on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, kind of, and like, there's one thing I was saying to you before, is there's just, I forget where I heard it, either the message or podcast, or it might have been another podcast, and the guy was saying, if you are thankful for 5 minutes a day, you will, your joy of your life, like your life and your joyfulness and everything will double. Mm-hmm. And it will give you the same amount of joy as in getting your paycheck doubled. every week, every
Yeah.
year, or every whatever it is. That's the same amount of joy. Like when you get that extra, someone's like, "Oh, we're gonna double your pay." That joy you get, that's what Thanksgiving gives you for like 5 minutes. If you do it every single day, if you do it every single day for 5 minutes, you'll get that same amount of joy. Because that is a very joyful thing. Like it's like, oh, I got more money. That's double what I had. Like holy crud, that's so much. And it gives you a lot of joy because you're like, oh wow, like this is nice. And that's what 5 minutes of Thanksgiving does. Like it'll just give you that joy. So it's like, for me, it's just like, why not be thankful like that? Why, like, what's the point in like waiting for like an extra, like 2 times the amount of money I'm being paid to be thankful and to have that joy? Why not just be thankful?
Have it every single day
for 5 minutes, 5 minutes in the day. You can get that if you're like that. And I'm not saying it's gonna be like that every time, but like that will help you be a little more joyful and be like, wow, like life's great. Like I have this, and that's something that thankfulness does. Like when you list things out, like today, I was literally like, I just started like, I was praying. I was like, thank you for this house. Thank you for my bed. Thank you for this chair that I'm kneeling next to and leaning on. Thank you for my eyesight. Thank you for my hearing. Thank you that I can hear. Thank you that I can speak. Thank you that I can taste. Thank you that I can feel things with my hands. And it's like you like don't really think about like all the things you can be thankful for until you start thinking. And literally, it was literally I just thought of like I thought of my eyes first, and then I was like, oh, ears, mouth, touch, taste. I was like all those things. It's like it just kind of like went. It just kept going and going. And I was like that. And like that's the thing with Thanksgiving is like once you start being thankful for things, and once you just start when you're thankful for one thing, something else is gonna pop in your head, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And it just makes it so simple to be thankful for things. Because you can literally thank for anything. You can thank for this mic, you can thank for the camera, you can thank for your guitar, you can thank for the computer, and it just goes on. You can look around your room, and there's just hundreds of things in your room that you can be thankful for.
It also like puts your like gaze onto like what you have. I know a lot of times like I can be like, I don't have this, I don't have that, but like legit, it's like I can live in this house with my family, or like I can take that for granted, and I could be like living on the streets, and it's like it helps me to look at even the small things that I'm just like, man, I'm having kind of a crappy day. It's like, thank you God that I have food that I can eat, and that I can sit in a house with a family that loves me, and it just kind of puts in perspective of like where you are and like who you are as a person. Just be like, no, like I am very blessed. I'm very loved in this time, and like I've been provided for. And yeah, like there might be trials and everything, but like in this moment, I have more than some people have.
Yeah, that was me with when I went on a mission trip over the summer. I went to Costa Rica, and I was like, these people have so much joy for how little they have. And they're just thankful for what they have. And like me going to there, like where I had less, not that I wasn't thankful, but it was easier to be less thankful for things here because I have everything.
Yeah.
And I was like watching them, and I was like, and that's one of the bigger takeaways I had. I was like, these people are so happy to have so little. Because what they have, God has provided for them. And that's all they care about. And it's like, there's so much stuff that like God has provided for me, but from my point of view, it's like, oh, I got paid, I worked, I got paid, I paid for that thing is now mine. Like, so I worked for that thing in my view. Whereas like for them, like people donated stuff, and like that's God's grace. Someone gave that to them, and they were praying for it, and it happened. And then they're like, thank you God for this. And like that's something that I've thought about is like when it's like this difference between like them and there is like them in here is like they have like when they get gifts something, I feel like they're so much more joyful than we are for when we get something, because we work for it a lot of the time, and like we're able to just like buy it, and then we're like this is what I got, like yes, I worked for this is mine, and then they're like, God gifted this to me, thank you God for gifting this to me. And I think it's just like a lot, it's just an interesting like it was like eye-opening for me to be like, these people are so thankful for so little. And I have so much stuff back in my house that I half the time don't even use, and I'm like, I forget about it. And if they had it, they would love it. They would use it. I don't know. It was just something interesting that was like really eye-opening when I went. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. And it's like I've seen that, but just like it's also the perspective of just like you're saying, like they're like God gave me this, like God has given me this. So like the perspective of just like either I didn't get this or on my own, or like this was through a lot of prayer and a lot of just like needing that brings a lot of joy too. through it. Not like our instant like, oh hey, like I want a new car. It's like I'll work a little bit and then I'll go to the dealer right here and boom. And like sometimes just it's a little harder. I think it just, especially when you pray for something and you work towards something, your thankfulness grows because it's a process and it's a hard thing that you had to work through, and it's like all that kind of stuff instead of just instantly getting it, which I think that also plays a lot into like how quickly our mind can go to thankfulness, you know. Another thing I wanted to highlight is, I know we can talk a lot with Thanksgiving and like trials and being like thankful, and like that's where I feel like a lot of times you can grow in your Thanksgiving, but I feel like a lot of times our Thanksgiving can plateau in the good times. And I think we can almost forget, like, I think this comes back to, we can forget how we got to the good times and like who brought us to the good times. And we can just be like, no, like this is my time to relax or my time to just enjoy this nice little cruise. I think God uses ups and downs to bring us back to him. So like sometimes when it's like there's like a nice cruise spot, I'm just like, all right, like, and it's not like a paranoid thing, like where I'm just waiting for God to do something, but I'm like, this is a great time and I want to be thankful in this time, but I also know that God will use this time to refresh and refine and then bring me back down to like commune with him more. So like I think just not forgetting in the good times and in like the easy times that to give thanks and to know who has given you this nice, relaxing, good time of just like, I won't say ease, but like comfortability, and just encourage you to keep looking at God and like thanking for small things, even if like you're not religious, but like keep thanking for like, thank you that I have my legs to walk and I'm not paralyzed. Like, thank you for this great time that I can use this extra money that I've gotten to buy this or that. I think that's very crucial. Just throughout the year to like keep that in mind. It's like there's gonna be low points, and that's where we're gonna grow in our Thanksgiving, but don't forget about it at the top on those big mountains and the peaks.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Not really. I mean, just keeping. It goes with like with the. I guess yeah, like with the like even the bad times. Like you said, the good times, bad times. You were specifically talking about the good times, but even like bad times, like it's like everything is going wrong, and you're just like, this sucks. Life sucks right now, and you kind of have to keep in mind like. It sounds weird, but like thanking God for the trials is something that's like huge.
Yeah.
Like life sucks. You broke a leg. God, thank you that I had that leg before I broke it, and thank you that my body is able to heal this, and by itself, like my body will repair it by itself.
Yeah.
Like thank you for that. And it kind of just like and that sounds like that would suck because like yeah, your leg's broken, it sucks. Like that is it sucks. But then it's just kind of like trying to like even in those times being like, God, like you're in control. Thank you for this. Like thank you for being able to heal this. Even though it sucks right now and I don't see why you allowed me to have my leg broken. Thank you for the ability to be able to have it healed. And then kind of just like that, and like isn't it like yeah, and like yes, it sucks to have that stuff happen to you, and it's hard to be like thankful for those things and like in those times. But it's just about having that mindset of constantly being like, no, like thank you, like it's okay, God's got this in control. Yeah, and just being constantly thankful for that.
Yeah, it reminds me of, I haven't said this name in a while, and even heard like George Mueller. Remember the story of George Mueller? Oh, right. You don't know the story of George Mueller?
I know his name, but I don't.
Yeah, check it out again. It's like VeggieTales did a whole thing on it.
Did they actually?
Yeah, they did a whole thing. But in that story, it's like the orphan,
the orphan,
caretaker.
Yeah.
Orphanage caretaker. His like life, I'm pretty sure it's something like his life was marked by like prayer and thanksgiving about like, thank you God that we have this. Thank you. He'd even pray before, he'd thank God before they even had it. Like, thank you for the milk we're going to have this morning when they didn't even have any milk. And then God would just send milk. And those are kind of like the really big like faith spurs. Thanks.
Faith inspired. I don't know.
No, like spurring on. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But like in those moments of just like in the trials, I think what's helped me most in like trials like that is like thanking God that like, thank you that I had this time, this trial to grow closer to you. Thank you that you love me. I think just perspective. I think Thanksgiving is a lot about perspective and how you look at your situation, because you can get really down and be like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have like this enough money to do this. I'd be like, thank you God that you brought me this far. Thank you that you are going to sustain me through. Thank you that you are going to provide here. Thank you that I'm not where I want to be, but that I'm where you need me to be right now. And kind of just like being in those kind of like headspace of just being like God's not going to leave. He's not going to like abandon you, but like being like, no, like this is a time for me to grow following God, to grow my faith, and not look at it as this trial. It's like, oh my goodness, this is the worst thing in the world. And like, yeah, it's okay to doubt, and it's okay to be like, man, this is really hard, but always try to keep looking forward and being like, no, like God is in this, God is working through this, and I can be thankful in this time. I can be joyful in this time because I know it's gonna be okay. I know it's gonna work out, and like tell yourself those truths.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're kind of wrapping up now, but nice little quick one. But I wanted to just give each other an opportunity to say maybe like 2 or 3 things that we're thankful for. Because I've been reflecting a little bit this week on thankfulness, and being like, yeah, like I want to put that into my life a little more. So I can go first, unless you want to start this ball rolling. Okay,
no,
cool.
You got it.
I think for me, it's definitely what keeps coming to mind. One of them is being thankful for being in a family that I love and that cares for me, and that really, like, even today I was just thanking God for all you guys. I'm talking to my family right now, to Judah and all of them, and all you guys. But I'm just thanking God for people that I enjoy and that care about me, because I know relationships in the family are sometimes really strained, and I'm lucky to have a family that I love and that loves me and that they care for me. And even though it's not always easy, it's just like we can always just be back and like nothing's changed, and just work through those kind of struggles. Also just thankful for where God has me in the season of life. I can tend to look forward a lot, but I've just been able to find, and through God's grace, but just been able to be a little more thankful for like the process, and like knowing that God's steps are in place and that he's really moving, and being like, okay, how can I thank you for these opportunities I have? How can I work the hardest in this season? And how can I grow the most in this season as you're leading me? Instead of being like, oh, I can't wait till I get here. I can't wait till I get here. Be like, that's great to look forward, but be like, okay, how can I, like, I'm thankful for the season that I'm in. How can I grow in this season? And another one is just, I don't know, we're in a pretty good area. So just really thankful for the area, the church, and the people around. So, yeah, give me like 2 or 3.
I have 2 that are like on my head, on my mind, on my head,
on my head, right on the forehead.
One is like, like family, and just like being able to just like talk to people about like struggles.
Yeah.
Like I'll constantly talk to my family about like, just I'm struggling with this right now. Like I'm going through this trial. Can you just like help me understand? Like, give me another perspective at why this could be happening and why God's allowing this to happen. And they'll be like, oh yeah, this is like, he's like, and whatever, we just talk about it then.
Yeah.
And just be able to get the stuff off my chest, and then be able to be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like thankful that they're able to just talk to me and just be willing to listen. And then on top, well, actually I have 3 now, actually thinking about that.
Hey.
So another one is like having friends that I can do that with. Friends, and even like pastors. I just go into a pastor and be like, yo, I'm struggling with this. Can you just give me some wisdom into this? Help me understand this or that, or like this person, or this this way, or why this is happening. And then even with friends, being able to be like, yo, like, can you just pray for me? Like, I'm struggling with this right now. I just need prayer. Sending a text to like a group of like 2 guys or 3 guys or whatever, and be like, yo, can you just pray for me? Like, I'm struggling with this at this moment. It's hitting me really hard. Can you just pray for me? And then being like, yeah, absolutely, I'll pray for you. And then the third thing is just like, like the church, and like having like God just like moving us from where we were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and like now to where we are and how I've changed, and actually been changed by God. In that time, it's been like I wouldn't be where I am right now with God if we didn't move. And just like thankful to God for that, and be like, thank you that we moved. Like I didn't want to move, but like thank you that you allowed us to move so that I was able to change and be changed by you. So those are like the three things that I'm like that are on my mind. Like those are the things that I'm thankful for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, this special episode. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Heard.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this time with us, please subscribe, comment, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next episode.